But he came to John in vision as the Son of Man. And what was the book of Revelation all about? Israel. In Revelation 1 verse 7, John has been given a vision, is in the process of receiving it, and then later he has to write it. And it speaks about Jesus Christ. And it says, "Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, and those who pierced him. And all the tribes of the earth will wail because of him." Now, if you were to look up the King James Version and the dictionary meaning, earth has a few meanings in Greek. The earth as a whole, the earth as opposed to the heavens, the inhabited earth, but it also means a country, land enclosed within fixed boundaries, a tract of land, territory, region. So in the book of Revelation, John records what Jesus said. And he also says, "Behold, he comes with clouds, and every eye will see him." Of course, he came to the tribes of Israel. He has already come as the Son of Man. And you may wonder, how can you say that? Because it did happen, as Jesus said it would, in 66 to 70 AD. And we have done this story before. And of course, the eyes of the Jews were opened to see the judgments that were coming up upon their city and upon their land. And even though they spiritually did not see him, and neither naturally did they see him, there was a mourning in the whole city. There was a mourning throughout the land. They were having terrible tribulation, the great tribulation. And then Jesus says in Revelations, he says, "I am the living one." But who is that person? Who is the living one? He is described like this. Verse 12. He saw candlesticks. And as you go on, you read that he saw someone like unto the Son of Man. Now the AKJV version says, like to the Son of Man, capital S. The same with the CPDV. The same with the DRC, EBR, EMTV. He's talking about Jesus Christ himself, who is the Son of Man. And it says these words, "He had a robe reaching to his feet, and a golden girdle across his breast." That's the description of a priest. And Jesus Christ came to John as the heavenly high priest, who already was in heaven as the high priest. But he came to John in vision as the Son of Man. And what was the book of Revelation all about? Israel. The Son of Man had come in relation to Israel. Israel was Babylon number 1. This book is a fulfillment of Matthew 24 and those other chapters. And the Son of Man came as Jesus said he would. Now, Jesus was not talking about the end of the world in those chapters, because he said people are standing here who will still be alive to see these happenings. He said this generation of people standing here will not pass away until everything I have said to you will be fulfilled. They were fulfilled in the book of Revelation. They fulfilled and recorded in the book of Revelation. And we are to accept what Jesus said. And he said in those chapters, about the coming of the Son of Man. He's talking about the coming of the Son of Man in judgment. Now, John was in the day of the Lord when he had the vision. In other words, in the vision, he's there, seeing what happens in the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord in the book of Revelation is not about the day of judgment by God. It's about the day of the Lord as recorded in the book of Joel. You see the judgments that are to come in Joel chapter 1, 2, 3. But what is in the middle of those judgments? I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And that was fulfilled in Acts chapter 2, verse 4, quoted by Peter. The verse happened. The whole book was fulfilled. 1, with the outpouring of the Spirit. 2, with the coming of the Son of Man to bring judgment upon Israel, which finished in AD 70, the month of August. John the Baptist has said, when he is come, he will baptize you with the Holy Ghost and fire, and that he will purge the nation. He will remove the chaff from the wheat. So John is in the day of the Lord, having this vision about the coming of the Son of Man. Here we see the coming of the Son of Man in judgment. On Revelation chapter 14, verse 1, a lamb stood upon Mount Zion with 144,000. They are redeemed. They sang a new song. And then the gospel is given, verse 6, the eternal gospel. Verse 8, the great Babylon, or Jerusalem, is fallen. Verse 14, on the cloud someone sitting like the Son of Man. That's all I'm going to say about that. We have done it in the book of Revelation, which you might like to check. He said this generation of people standing here will not pass away until everything I have said to you will be fulfilled.